Hey, what's going on, you all? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, this is a long time coming video, and I wanted to speak on something that was really important. I see it happen all the time, and I just want to bring some clarification to this topic. So the name of this video is Trauma Doesn't Have an Expiration Date. The reason why we decided to do this video is because a lot of times when people do you wrong, they believe that if a lot of time has passed, then that's their apology. They believe that if they give it 10, 15, whatever amount of years, then you should be over it, and they should be able to, interact with you like nothing has ever happened. But that's not true. So we're going to discuss that in this video, and we'll get right into it by showing you some videos on that topic for context.
You know what's wild about people who refuse to apologize? The time will pass and they will just assume that you've forgiven them. So not only have you not received an apology, you can't even care about it anymore because so much time has passed. It's like holding a grudge does nothing for you but makes you more angry. So I'm the type of person that doesn't hold on to things because I know it's just going to weigh me down. The time passing does not mean that you've been forgiven. The time passing means that I've let it go and I'm moving on with my life, and you have no place in it.
And this gonna go over some of y'all head, but I need you to hear this. Please stop encouraging reconciliation when the person who did the harm is not even sorry. Okay, people that care about you care about how they make you feel. People who care are sorry when they hurt you. Okay, don't let people gaslight you. Okay, if a family member is defending your abuser, that's gaslighting. If you are being told that you misunderstood a traumatic event or something that deeply affected you, that is gaslighting. Okay, don't let nobody do that to you. If you are being blamed for any type of abuse that you have endured, that is gaslighting. Don't let nobody do that to you. If you are being criticized for seeking professional help, baby, that is gaslighting. Don't let nobody do that to you. Okay, you are not crazy. You seen what you seen, you felt what you felt. It is a tragedy that the ones that apologize too much are the ones that are owed the apology. All right, stop encouraging reconciliation with people that are not even sorry for the stuff that they did.
Okay, we're gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna roll right into the next video.
Y'all know those people that think just because time went by that's an apology? Baby, not over here. This is not that, okay? I promise this is not that. You are not going to do something weird to me and think just because time went by and you haven't apologized or acknowledged the situation that it's just going to go away and we're just going to be back besties. It's never going to be that. And I don't care who you are. I really don't. You do something to purposely hurt me, or you try to use something I told you against me, this, that, and the third, we will never be the same. We will never be the same. You better actually pray and hope that I even speak to your ass again, because baby, one thing about it, people only got one time to show me that they weird and that they don't fool with me for real, and that's it. I only need to know that one time, just that one time. I am no longer gonna be that person that stays around to see how weird I can get.
Next video.
Let's be clear. Time doesn't heal wounds that someone refuses to acknowledge. Thinking they can skip accountability and just slide back into your life without real apology, that's not confidence, that's arrogance. And you're not weak enough to fall for it. An apology isn't just words, it's an act of respect, a bridge to repair what was broken. Without it, they're showing you that they care more about their ego than your peace. Why let them back like nothing happened when they've done nothing to make it right? Don't let anyone mistake your kindness for weakness. Time passing isn't forgiveness, and ignoring the damage isn't healing. Demand the respect you deserve, because the version of you right now is too strong, too wise, and too valuable to settle for less. Don't let them play you like that.
So, what are your thoughts on what you just saw?
That's very strong topic. I remember a woman saying that she had had a C-section. And after the C-section, the doctors told her that she would heal up and she would not, I guess, feel pain. And after years had went by, she would still have sharp pains up under her stomach where she had the C-section at. And even though time had went by, she was still experiencing the pain, like a burning down there where she had her C-section. And kids are grown now. So it lets me know that we have always been taught that time heals pain. Time doesn't heal pain. And I believe that people have been taught that to teach people, to force people to get over what they've been through. But understand, that was the wrong thing. We should have never believed that. But I think that someone said that because they literally didn't have the answer. So they just said time heals all pain. Time never heals pain.
Right.
There are some people who have lost their mother when they were children and they're in their 40s and 50s and they still have that pain. When Mother's Day comes, they still go down into a depression. Time never heals pain. And we have to stop telling people that because this is what we have been taught. But now me and my sister, we're going back to correct the problem. It was a diagnosis that was passed, and people are not recovering from this diagnosis that has been passed. Somebody gave the person an antidote and said time heals pain. People have been taking this antidote and they are not healing. They are not recovering. They're actually getting worse because they have not been given the right prescription for this medicine. You understand what I'm saying? You had one doctor, one person who thought that they was the speaker for everybody, and they passed this concept down from generation to generation over and over. Every race has heard it, and they are still dealing with the pain. People look at like, girl, she should have been over that. No, time does not heal pain. If you have not been sorry, you're actually just getting worse.
So I want to bring up a term called emotional blame reversal. And basically what that is when someone does something wrong to you, they will flip the script and turn around and make it look like you're the bad guy for reacting to it. That's called emotional blame reversal. So I want you all to keep that term in your mind. Okay, so we're going to roll right into the next video.
It's so crazy how people would rather ignore you and avoid you than just apologize. Like, you did something to me. You hurt me. How is it that you're sitting here acting like I'm the problem? Rather than just going days without talking, going weeks without talking, going months without talking, especially over something so small, you could have literally just apologized. But no, it's easier for you to not be accountable, try to gaslight me and manipulate me and act like I'm the problem. Like, how does that work? Like, how does that work? And it's usually somebody that you're really close to. Like, it could be like your best friend. It could be a family member, even somebody you're in a relationship with. Like, how is it that you wronged me and yet I'm the one that's the problem because I'm mad at you? Like, they'll even go as far as getting mad at you for being mad at them for something that they did. Like, how does that work? And it's crazy because it shows you that you do not mean as much as you think you do to somebody. Because it's just like, okay, you could have literally just dead ass apologized and we could have been cool. But now it's like you trying to gaslight me and manipulate me when I know that I didn't do nothing wrong to you. You did something wrong to me. You should have been the one apologizing to me. Like, what the fuck?
So, you all just saw that video. So, this is what happens when people let time pass and then come to you and act like nothing ever happened. So, I wrote a couple of things down that I want to go ahead and speak on. So, they don't want to face the discomfort of admitting to you that they wronged you. Time passed does not equal disclosure. And I want you all to remember that. Time passed has absolutely nothing to do with what you did to someone. There is something called spiritual bypassing. And for those of you who have grown up in a religious family, I'm almost certain you have experienced this. So what people tend to do is whenever they have done something to you, what they tend to do is bypass it spiritually. So they may say, and I know because I've heard it, I've had it said to me, they'll say something like, well, God told me to leave it alone. Or God told me not to say anything to her. That's spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing is manipulation. It's a manipulation tactic. Also, this is what someone will do. They will wait until you are in front of a group of people, and they will come up to you and be like, hey, how you doing? Give me a hug, And because of what they did to you, you don't want to be bothered with them. You don't want to hug them. And now it looks like you're the problem. So when they do that, they are well aware of what they're doing. And I wrote something down in regards to that. So it's called manipulative performance. And what it's about is a public image, right? And it's a public image to hide private accountability. And the crowd, everyone who's around you, they become a shield for real consequences. The crowd becomes a shield. And that's why they wait till you're in public. That's why they wait until, it's a lot of people around, because they know what they're doing. We've done videos on this that people know what they're doing. They use the crowd to manipulate the situation and force you into being polite to them. When people say, God told me to leave it alone and stuff like that, they're weaponizing God to avoid growth. People know how to weaponize God to avoid growth. Rather than apologizing to you, they will bring God into it. They want to have position themselves as the bigger person, as though they're answering to a higher power, to avoid accountability, to avoid the responsibility of what they did to you. So that's one thing. The next thing I wrote down is whenever you start creating boundaries against someone who did something to you, it looks like an attack. Have you ever had someone, when you implement boundaries and they start crossing your boundaries and you start saying, wait a minute, hold up. They start thinking you're attacking them. And also what they'll do is go around and tell other people that you attacked them and you're the problem. Once again, that's gaslighting and manipulation. That's two things people who don't want to be accountable, they use that all the time. And I've heard, people say things like, that was 20 years ago, you still holding on to all that hurt and pain, or, they're holding on to trauma, or they're living in the past, or why can't you just let it go? Or, I said that 10 years ago, why are you still blaming me? And the thing is, you're not blaming them, but what it is that it still hurt you. And so that's why we say you don't own the rights to trauma. You can't capitalize trauma. It's very dismissive to go up to someone and say, oh, that happened to you when you was a kid, get over it. I know people right now in their 60s and 70s who are still holding on to things that happened when they was kids. What do I look like going up to you and saying, oh, that happened when you was 2, get over it? Oh, I know your mother didn't want you, get over it. What do I look like saying that? I know your dad used to I don't want to necessarily use the word beat, but I know your dad was abusive. Get over it.
I think that when people have dealt with a person, because we all have dealt with a person in our lives that has hurt us, regardless if it was a mom, a sister, brother, your dad, even a grandma, because grandma could be very, very abusive, physically, mentally, verbally, with their words, and it caused us to feel a discomfort in life. And their voices can echo, like your grandmother could pass away and you can still hear her voice echoing in your head. Even the people who hurt you in the 3rd grade, you can still hear their voice echoing in your head and you can't get it out. Sometimes people wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they can still hear the things that a person has told them in their head, and it won't go away. And what happens is, when you can't get the proper apology, that should be the question. If you cannot get the proper apology that you need, how do you move on? how do you deal with those people? Because you probably see them on a everyday basis. You might see them at every family reunion, and you keep punishing yourself. You keep not going to the family reunion because every time you have a family reunion, you have to hit that cousin up and say, who's all there? It's such and such there because I don't want to be there if this person is there. And you keep punishing yourself and not going around the family because this person owes you an apology. I strongly believe that it's time for y'all to confront those people. Confront them and say, Aunt, you know why I don't speak to you. Uncle, you know why I don't talk to you. You know what happened that day behind the shed when everyone left. And you keep walking past me telling everybody that I have an attitude, and you know what you did. You're going to have to confront them. And I don't care how much time has passed by, because people think that time passed by. You should be over that now. That happened when you was 4 years old. It may have been a 15-second thing for you, but that 15 second is now costing me 25 years in therapy because I can't get over what you done. So the question is, how do you deal with being hurt and you're unable to get the proper apology? Because time doesn't heal all wounds, people say. Let you lose a child, lose a mother, lose a spouse, and see how quickly you can get over it.
Right.
20 years can go by and you can still feel that same feeling as if that person died that day. So that's something that we have to stop teaching people, that time heals all pain. Time doesn't heal all pain. It doesn't. It never will. But that I think that people use that because they don't know what to say. So they use that to cause you to suck it up and just go on with life. And now that you went on with life, now you're in your 50s and you're still sitting there saying, I thought they told me that time heals all my pain.
Yeah.
How come time hasn't healed my pain? Because time never heals your pain. Time was never meant to heal your pain. And we have literally put that stress and pressure on time, thinking that time was going to heal it, and it didn't.
Right.
I don't know why we were taught to bear everything.
Yeah.
Oh, just deal with it, honey. It's all right. Like when kids get bullied, what do we say? Oh, bullying makes you tough. We have been taught this, but this is actually not the answer. So no, time does not heal people's pain.
Also, I wrote down something that says they don't want to believe you've had enough, so they will see your distance as hatred and your silence as a grudge. I don't know how many times.
Read that again. Say that again.
Yes. When they don't want to believe you've had enough, they will see your distance as hatred and your silence as a grudge. So whenever you distance yourself from them or you're silent toward them, oh, you're holding a grudge. When something happens to someone, and it's been said, they stay stuck at that age. So their body will grow. You know, something happened to you when you was 13 or 14, you know, your body will grow. You will become 23, you become 27, but emotionally you're still 14. Because you're trying to make sense of what happened to you. And we have a tendency to use time to dismiss what people have gone through because we're not equipped with how to help them or handle it. And a lot of times we don't also believe in therapy. Now, I'll be the first one to say find the right therapist because not every therapist can help you. But if you're in a family that's no one's trained to deal with this, and then they don't want it uncovered or they don't want it exposed, you need to find someone to help you process it, because you can't change it, but you can definitely process it. You can definitely work through it. And it's the pain stays a part of you, but you can build your life around it. You don't erase the pain. It's right there. It's at the core, but you build your life around it so that it affects you less.
I think a lot of times people just need to be able to process. Even apology, because sometimes we will try to pass that off. We owe people an apology, and as time go by, we keep saying, oh, you should have gotten over that, so I don't have to apologize to you because 20 years passed by, let it go. Why do people refuse to give people an apology? What do you think it's in the inside of them that causes them not to want to apologize to people?
I think the main thing is discomfort. Not wanting to believe you are the bad guy in their life, not wanting to believe that you showed up in a negative way in that person's life. And you know it because they stopped talking to you. Look, we need to stop pretending that when someone stops talking to us, a lot of times we don't know what happened. Most of us are rational people. If something small happens, most of us, we get over that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody ignored you or didn't tell you how. Most of us get over that. I'm talking about stuff that you did to people. I'm talking about traumatic things that you've done to somebody. And then they stop talking to you. And then you want to go and paint the narrative that they're the ones who is wrong. And it goes into, what I had mentioned earlier. When someone starts creating a boundary, it looks like an attack. And people will say, rather than saying, you know what, maybe I did something wrong. Why isn't my cousin talking to me? Maybe I did something wrong. Why does my daughter completely and totally avoid me? She went completely no contact with me. Her husband, her kids, they don't speak to me. And then they want to go and tell people that my daughter's not speaking to me. See, when I hear stuff like that, I immediately think, what did you do? What did you do? Because most kids, when they grow up in healthy relationships and families, they always come back to their parent. Here, Mom, I got you some pizza. Here, Dad, let me do this for you. Because they want to show you that you've treated them right their entire lives as a parent, and they want to pay you back. So they'll do little things for you. But when your kids stop talking to you, stop going around telling people, trying to get some empathy by saying, oh, I don't know why they stopped talking to you. Oh, my son is very disrespectful to me. I don't know what I did. Oh, my sister, she don't want to talk to me no more. Oh, my brother, he moved over here. He don't call the family. Y'all know what y'all did to people. You know exactly what you did to people. And you're being very manipulative when you say that they're holding on to 20-year-old hurt, pain, and trauma. That's very manipulative. And that's rewriting the narrative, and it's dismissing what you did to them. And here's something else that people will also do. Well, you've done me wrong too, but that's just water under the bridge. Well, great. Good for you, it's water under the bridge.
I think people don't like to feel guilty. That's why they do the tit for tat. You are the reason why a lot of people have died in their spirit, and only you can resurrect them with a simple apology or showing that you are sorrowful for what you've done. Because if you have to look at it, think about it like this: if the shoe was on the other foot, and if somebody had hurt you, you would want your apology.
Right. You would.
And I know some people who would tell people to get over it. But when the shoe is on the other foot, they don't get over it. Oh, they bring back Cain and Abel because they're angry, because they want their apology. And you can't tell them, oh, calm down, because they won't. They'll take it from 1 and they'll be on 10 within 2.5 seconds. Why? Because they want their apology. So that lets me know that they know what an apology is. They know how to receive an apology. So if you can want someone to give you an apology, that's the same way that you have to give an apology. People will play ignorant and make folks think, oh, that's 10 years ago. I don't owe you an apology. Get over it. Move on with your life. But let somebody do something to them. In 1959, you didn't give me back my penny that you owed me. And they will cry until you return them back that penny. And they won't forget it.
Yeah, that's like people who, when you borrow $5 from them, they'll call your sister, they'll call your mom, they'll call your cousin, they'll call your brother, they'll call your uncle. They will go resurrect your grandmother from the dead.
Yes, they will.
And ask her for your phone number. But let them borrow $50 from you. They won't breathe about it. They won't mention it. They'll take their sweet, precious time giving it back. Same concept. So, we just wanted to speak on that. Time does not equal closure. And trauma has no expiration date.
So as we close out this video, people who are dealing with trauma and they're trying to get an apology, what do they need to do?
They need to confront, and I don't mean confront as like in a bad way, but they need to go to that person. Or what you can do the next time someone comes up to you and tries to hug you, like you said, say, look, since they're coming to you now, look, we pull them away from the crowd. We need to discuss this. We need to discuss
That's right. Did you ever see that video? Jay, I don't know if think it was Damon Dash, if I'm not mistaken. He had showed up at, I don't know if it was a war show, but it was some type of event, and there was a man who owed him money. And he hasn't...
Lee Daniels.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he confronted Lee Daniels right there on the set. And Lee Daniels told him, he said that you could have got with my people, you could have called my people, and we could have resolved this. He said, I tried.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've done that. You don't return phone calls, texts, emails, nothing. I showed up, and you have not been available. So I had to confront you like this. Sometimes there's not going to be an easy way to confront people. Sometimes it's going to be ugly, but you're going to have to do what you're going to have to do in order to get the results that you were looking for. Because like I told you, some people need to be confronted.
He did that emotional blame reversal. Is what he did.
Wow. So I think that's going to do it. But as we close out, time does not heal pain. We have been taught that, and we have used that to medicate ourselves. But the reality is, it's not working. People have been prescribing you the wrong prescription by telling you that time heals all pain, but it don't. Because people know they wrong. They know that they hurt you. They are not stupid. That's why they avoid you. If I owe somebody money, of course I'm going to avoid those people. Why? Because I don't want to pay you back your money. Right. So I'm going to go the long way around to keep from giving you what I owe you. And people owe you that an apology. And just like they make it uncomfortable for you, you need to start making it uncomfortable for them. You need to start applying that pressure. Start applying that pressure onto the people who hurt you. And I think that's what it's going to have to be.
So, we'll see you all in the next video. Take care. We're out.